Hey there, my name is Alex, I am the Silver Mont, and in this video we're going to talk about Attack on Titan's ending. The manga has ended now after all, so of course there will be spoilers for the manga in this video. If you're watching the anime and not otherwise caught up, then I would advise to tune out for now. And of course I'm not going to show any clips from the anime, nor any pictures from the manga because of copyright stuff, so enjoy whatever random background footage I've put in here. As for Attack on Titan though, well, I started with the anime back in 2013, I think. My girlfriend at the time got me to watch it and I enjoyed it enough to keep watching and reading the manga. I didn't actually realise it had been that long though, but what a trip that series has been. The revelation of humanity existing beyond the walls was one thing, but the second half of the series, focusing so heavily on the Marley and Eldia conflict, I think I'm not alone in finding it controversial. It's always jarring to be suddenly introduced to a whole new cast of characters, and I've never quite understood what the intent was with Gabi and her cohorts. Are we supposed to realise that she's similar to Eren, just from a different perspective? You see, no matter how you spin the story or the characters, I can't see how it didn't fail in the end. For one thing, whilst Eren could be whiny and irritating, he was effectively our main character, and it was easier to root for him, all things considered. Defenders of Gabi will proclaim, well, she's just the same as Eren. I don't find that to be true. For starters, the ultimate goal of Gabi seemed to be proving what a good little slave she was. Eren's goal was freedom. I wouldn't say those goals are in any way comparable. The notion that Gabi and co would be free if they proved what good lapdogs they were was nonsense. Meanwhile, Eren in the time skip became a extremely motivated individual. He must have been playing some Devil May Cry. And that's something I always enjoy. Take Doom Guy, for example. Is he a nuanced character? No, but he's unstoppable and his willpower is extreme. It's amusing. You could call it a power fantasy, and there's nothing wrong with those. See, fiction is fiction, that is to say, not real. It's good and even healthy to live out fantasies that don't impact the real world. Irrespective of what certain individuals might claim, Grand Theft Auto doesn't mean you're going to go out and clobber random people with a baseball bat and steal their cars, statistically speaking. And generally speaking, there are of course exceptions. Humans are good at distinguishing between fantasy and reality. I played Grand Theft Auto growing up, I played Dynasty Warriors growing up, and you know what? I've never gone on a rampage in China and KO'd 2,000 people in 15 minutes. Likewise with the majority of people. So back to Eren. Is it right to genocide the entire world because they hate you? No, not really. But will I root for Eren to do it because it's entertaining to watch him never give up and advance so inexorably? You know it. A lot of people seem to be getting bogged down in real world ethics when it comes to the character. You don't need to. Even if it might be interesting to apply that situation to the real world and theorize it because, oh, it takes place in the real world and the island is Madagascar and whatever. At the end of the day, it isn't the real world. And at the end of the day, the ending was disappointing because Eren's willpower ultimately amounted to nothing. What it boiled down to was, I'm going to wipe out enough of humanity that they won't be able to retaliate for several years, and in the meantime my friends will be regarded as heroes for stopping me and take that chance to start peace talks. Everything about his plan relied on luck, chance, and coincidences, as he couldn't see what was going to happen past a certain point, and earlier in the series he was, saying how he doesn't want to rely on luck and coincidence, he wants it to be a certain and sure thing. Realistically, there's no way things would have turned out that way, because hey, if people in universe haven't been able to get over hatred from hundreds of years back about, Eldians, no Marleyans alive had any memories of the Eldian Empire, how could they possibly think that the rest of the world would just go, yeah, let's forget what these devil people did when they wiped out 80% of humanity, even if some of them stopped them? Whether or not they have Titan powers becomes irrelevant at that point. Knowing the Eldians can't Titan shift anymore, being told they can't would surely make them even more likely to retaliate and wipe them out for good in the long run. Eventually, they'd have the firepower to do so. Eren's entire plan falls apart once you start to look at it, and as for what he was rambling about concerning Mikasa and Ymir, I couldn't even understand that. That might have just been a terrible translation though. If you ask me, a better ending would have been for Eren to succeed in his plan, destroy humanity outside of the walls, leaving the world beyond the island a wasteland with not a single human life, which would have then, in a way, ironically turned the clock back to the beginning of the series, back where humans assumed everything outside the walls was dead. Now it really would be that way. Having made that, their reality would have been a somber ending, which tells you something about humans and the clash of cultures. Whether or not Eren survived or not doesn't really matter. The only thing I would suggest is that his friends will survive, because of course, they were his pressing concern most of the time. Creating a world wherein they'd be safe from all exterior threats feels in line with his character, if you ask me. But now I'll ask you. What did you think of the series ending? In general, the series as a whole? Let me know. I found it very disappointing after such a strong and interesting start. But yeah, let me know down in the comments, and until next time, you guys, take care, ciao.